Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good morning to you and welcome to the Muslim Insight Show only on Horizon TV. My name is Zamzam Ahmed and my sign language interpreter is Ilhan Noor. Today we are going to do the Friday Bulletin Review, and with me I am joined by Aban Shihemi. Next to me, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We also have Gaddafi Yassin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for coming here and helping me with the Friday Bulletin Review. Now, we start with the front page, and on the first story we have is Namlef petitions JSC over discrimination in Kadhi's recruitment. Maybe we start with you, Aban Shihemi. What do you think about this one?
Well, I think the petition has come at the right time because, you know, the Kadhi's courts were established under Article 170 of the Constitution in 2010. And they determine, their role is to determine the Muslim issues, especially personal status, marriage, divorce, inheritance, where all the parties have to be, they confess to the Muslim religion, the Islamic religion. So if you look around, you will see that the Kadhi's courts seem to have been neglected. Because when you look at the article, they are saying they have declined from 56 to 46. So that means we are not growing. And when you look at the areas that these courts have closed, there are key areas where the number of Muslims is high, you know. And when you ask the people, if you go to the corridors of justice and you ask the people, they will tell you the Muslims are not using the Kadhi's courts. Okay. That's why they are closing these courts in these areas. You can imagine the courts have been closed in several regions. In Lamu, imagine of all the places in Lamu, where we expect majority are Muslims. So why is the court being closed in Lamu? It means the Muslims there are not using the court, because the government cannot be spending money, assign a Kadhi in a place, and the whole month, when you are giving a report, you have handled nothing. You see? Yeah, it doesn't add up. So the government will be like, no, we close this space, we take you somewhere else where maybe there's high demand, then we keep you here, we waste our money and resources, and we are doing nothing. So we have to go back and ask ourselves, surely, why are these courts being closed? Because you see, Lamu, it has been closed. Thika, it has been closed. Muranga, Meru, Maua, Kitale, Vihiga, Busia, Homa Bay, Migori. These are so many places.
And I believe these are the places whereby Muslim community, or rather the Islam religion, is growing. Yes,
you look at Busia, the border there are a lot of Muslims. Okay. And if the court is not there, it means now, if you want to get justice, where do you go to? You now have to travel, you know, go far to get justice. But we need these courts back to closer to the people. But now the Muslims have to impress them. They have to use the courts. Yeah.
Okay. And maybe let me come to you. I know probably someone who is in that field would at least be in a better position to explain it to us. Maybe that is a lack of manpower, or the judicial personnel, and people are not even getting the service they want. They have to travel. Probably what specific challenges are currently being faced due to the shortage of manpower in the Kadhi's court? Let me come to you, Gaddafi Yassin. What do you think?
Thank you so much for this invitation once again here today. But I think one of the challenges that we can say we can face as a Muslim community is that we cannot get justice the way it should be, despite the country itself is not an Islamic country. But the reason why we introduced the the Qadhi's court. It's in order for the Muslims to have their own discussions, to have their own language, and also to speak the same language when it comes to their matters and to solve their matters. So it's a big gap whereby in these counties where it has been mentioned about Meru, Maua, Kitale, Vihiga, and if you can see these counties, for instance, maybe some people, they take it as a ride, thinking that Muslims are not in these areas, but we have a lot of Muslims into these areas whom they need each and every service that any Kenyan should need in this country. So one among the challenges that Muslims are facing is that they are not getting their right the way it should be, because you find the cases of marriages, people giving each other the talaka and everything. It is happening. And who is going to save these people? Should they have to come to Nairobi so that they can get justice? No, I think that it is not good.
Okay. If I look from last week's Friday bulletin, says that JSC announces jobs for judges, magistrates, and Qadhis, and we can see that it has advertised 150 job opportunities. And if I look at it, it says that it is not on this Friday bulletin, but at least it can say that it has announced 60 vacancy positions for resident magistrates and 5 vacancy positions for resident Qadhis. Abani said that it has come at the right time, whereby NAMLEF petitions JSC over discrimination in Qadhis recruitment. Probably has NAMLEF proposed any solutions or recommendation to the JSC for addressing a staffing crisis?
Yeah, when you look at the article, and one thing we need to appreciate is that, you know, Kenya is not a religious state. Yeah, we have the freedom of worship, and we have, alhamdulillah, we have now the Qadhi's court. And NAMLEF has stated a few things that they would like, you know, to see in the Qadhi's court. Among them, you know, they have said the Qadhi's court are understaffed. You know, the system, it has, you know, it's lagging behind. They need the new digital system in place.
Sufficient budget.
Yes, they need a budget we put in place. So with these systems in place, I think now the Muslims will have the confidence of going to the Qadhi's court, because you can go to Upper Hill and you find there's a long line. So either it is because it is the only court here, and you know, Nairobi has a huge number of people, Muslims. So they go there, they find there's a long line, so you have to choose. Should I sit here and wait, or should I use the alternative of the other courts? And we are dealing with issues whereby, you know, especially on inheritance issues. Instead of the Muslims going to the Qadhi's court for inheritance issues, they are now going to the normal courts, the other courts. And the other courts, they are not going to rule according to the Islamic way. You know, in the Quran is clearly stated who gets what when it comes to division of properties. But the other judge, remember, he's just reading the constitution, and this constitution was developed by human beings who have properties, and they don't really want to share it with their family. So when they're making this constitution, they have to look at what favors them the most. So I think NAMLEF has done its part. The National Muslim Leaders Forum has done its part through the leadership of Chairman Abdullahi Abdi. They have petitioned JSC. They feel there are gaps that needs to be filled. And JSC has done its part on advertising the positions. I believe we have enough Muslims who've done, you know, Sharia law, and they qualify for these positions. So they have to apply for these positions. If it has applied, if it has opened the space for this number of positions, it means they will open more Qadhi's courts. You see, that's what I feel, because you can't advertise for that number of positions and you still be closing the courts. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And probably, as per your opinion, do you think JSC will listen to this petition or will give its feedback?
I think NAMLEF petitioning them, it means there is some form of, you know, communication is there. And that's why you see even before, I think NAMLEF petitioned after the report by JSC advertising the positions.
Yeah.
So maybe NAMLEF saw a gap and just said, look, yes, you've advertised these positions,
Yeah,
but we have ABCD that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Just the positions is not enough. Yes, you can open the court, but you see, there's no manpower.
Yeah.
Digitization. Right now we need digitization. Budget allocation. You know, if these things are not addressed and you have a court with a magistrate and he doesn't have a budget, he doesn't have manpower, individuals working there to serve the people, it's a problem, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to another headline. We have Imams Empowerment and Training Workshop. There is a picture there. We can see the Imams are trying to listen to, we can see that Imams and Du'ats follow proceedings during the Al-Ansar Muslim Group Training Workshop held on Tuesday at the Jamia Mosque Nairobi Multipurpose Hall. And we have down there is a Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Saleh from Imam Saud University, Saudi Arabia, delivers a lecture to participants. 60 Imams and Du'ats from Nairobi and surrounding areas attended the workshop, which focused on strengthening their understanding of Islamic concept, Islamic Aqiqah. Maybe let me start with you, Gaddafi Yasin. What do you think of this workshop? Is it something that will work for the Imam? Is it something that will impact the Imam in the country?
Yes, I think this is a very important and very good initiative that maybe it has been done or it is continuing at Jamia Mosque in terms of educating Imams or to empower Imams in terms of trainings and workshop. This is something that we've not been experiencing in the past years, whereby just someone who completes his studies in terms of deen and everything, you can just come and start to do this. But in terms of empowerment and training workshop, it helps the Imam to understand the current trends, and also here they've mentioned something which is very good, understanding Islamic Aqidah. In terms of understanding Islamic Aqidah, you have some people who they are literally controversial when it comes to matters to deal with Islam and everything. So this will help our Imams to also help to guide the Ummah when it comes to the right people to listen to, when it comes to the right people on where you can go and seek advice to matters to deal with the Islam and everything. For Jamia Mosque to hold such an initiative and such event, we really congratulate them and everything. And also we ask that not only it to happen in Nairobi, it is good if they can do the town halls in other counties, so that at least they can give the accessibility and the flexibility to other Imams who are in different counties, so that they can also benefit from such trainings, empowerments and workshops. From this area, this is where you'll understand more, and also you'll be relating with different Imams and try to see the different ideologies that they have and everything. And I think currently we're in a position of whereby a lot of young people as well are embracing to study knowledge, religion and everything, and I think they can add up a spicy and a good energy to matters to deal with Islam, and also to spread Islam to different areas.
Mashallah. Yeah. And maybe come to you, Aban. You know, there is something, for something to happen, there is something that has taken place before. So what could be the result, or this workshop is as a result of what, probably?
You know, for long, the Imam was a forgotten leader. Yeah, for many years, Imams were just there. When you fail in school, you are told now you can go and study religion, and maybe you can be an Imam. You know, but today we are looking at Imams as the community leaders. Everyone runs to the Imam with their problems, and these workshops, they're important because it's an empowerment workshop. Every time and then they have to be empowered. They have to be taught again and again. Because remember, today we are dealing with a lot of issues. The youth, even the government is struggling to handle the youth.
Yes.
And now they are turning to religious leaders, telling them like, help us.
Yeah.
You know, give them guidance. When you look at the issues of, you know, extremism, the country is facing a lot of challenges when it comes to extremism. People used to think it was just Islam.
Yeah.
Shock on them. Now today we are dealing with even more serious extremism matters. So if you empower these Imams, they are the ones now who are going to tackle these issues on the grassroots, because they are dealing with these people on a daily basis.
One-on-one.
The churches, they have to wait until Sunday to meet the people and talk to them. The imam has a chance of speaking to you every day, 5 times a day.
Okay.
So any issue it comes, he can address it during Fajr, he can address it during Dhuhr, he can repeat it during Asr, and he'll finish the Maghrib and Isha.
Yes.
So at these points, you are getting different audiences, because there are those who will be there for Fajr, they might not be there for Dhuhr because of work and other issues. There are those who will be there for Asr and might not be there for Maghrib, but you'll get another audience you can address these issues for. So these workshops, they're helping to strengthen community leadership, because the imam is a very, very important individual in the community. And the reasons are very clear. When you look at, for example, in areas in northeastern, they're struggling with issues of drugs, muguka, mira, and all that. So the imams, these are some of the issues they have to talk about. But how can they talk about it when they don't even know the effects of muguka?
Yes.
You know, they'll just tell you, "Itu ni haramu bana." Alafu the youth now, they counter. Show me a verse in the Quran that says wa muguka fi haram.
And you fail to give
Yes.
the verse.
So you need to be empowered in a way that you'll be able to sit down with this young person, engage them, and make them understand that this thing has side effects on you, and these are the causes, this is what it will lead you to. Without this knowledge, utakuwa tu, utaenda motoni, utaenda janna, utaenda, and nowadays people don't want to listen to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to explain more.
Yes.
Like, you know, we find the current generation, they are up to, we need more explanation. Like, even if you're telling me this thing is haram, you have to explain more and everything. So I think such workshop, it helped the imams also to be taught on how to deliver also to the young generation, also to the new people. It is like the way I was discussing with other people, the reason why sometimes we find things are difficult with these Gen Zs and everything, it is because those people who are trying to rule them, they have akili ya zamani. So you cannot bring it now to these people. These are people who are learned and they know much more than you can think. So it is good for such initiative, and it's a good thing. It should continue, I think, each and every time.
Okay, you've advised that we should be having these workshops even in other counties, not only in Nairobi. Probably, as per your opinion, what do you think should be this workshop? How often do you think should have taken place?
You know, when it comes to matters of learning and everything, learning does not stop. So I think according to the availability and the resources and everything, if it is possible, it can be done each and every month. But according to, if they don't have resources and they need much manpower and everything, I think coming up with good structures that they can help to organize such things. My opinion, if they can be doing it at least each and every month, because we have almost 40 plus counties, I think, in Kenya. So that, and we have 12 months. So you see, each and every month we go to different counties, and we try to sensitize them, we try to empower them, motivate them and everything. Because it is good also, Imam, they have life after teaching and after doing the summoning and everything. So how is their daily life? Is it only staying at the masjid and everything? No, they have to work, they have to do businesses, they have to do other activities that will help them also in their dunya and akhir. Yeah. Okay.
This is for Imam only. What do you think of the people who are going to be taught by this Imam? Do you think it's also a better or a good idea to have this kind of workshops also?
For Ma'amuna?
You know, yeah, the people.
Like now us.
Yeah.
Having such empowerment and training workshops about Deen and Islam. I think after engaging with the sheikhs, the way Aban has mentioned, the sheikhs are the ones meeting a huge number, huge congregations and everything. So I think after making a positive impact to these imams, automatically it will flow down. The channel will be flowing easily. But if we cannot concentrate with this chunk of imams first, it will be very difficult to come and educate someone who does not understand what Aqidah is, that this is the right person to do this and this and this. But for the imams, they understand. If you tell them about this person, the Aqidah is not good, and you give the dalil and everything, from there he just stops, and he'll be like, from now moving forward, these persons will not be followed because he or she is an mislead one.
Okay. Maybe just to add on what he's saying, I think this year it is the third or fourth workshop you're seeing.
Okay.
And it's just happening here at Jamia Mosque. And today we know we are in digital era.
Yeah.
And I believe the organizers, yes, when you look at the story saying it is Nairobi and the surrounding areas, so we think maybe Machakos, you know, Kajiado, the near counties within Nairobi. But today, I think you can have this workshop. Yes, you can organize the workshop here in Nairobi, but you can also have imams from other counties
to join online.
Via online.
Okay.
That way, you'll have reached, you know, a wider audience, and because those people in the village, they really need to be empowered.
Yeah.
They are the ones dealing with the real issues in the village. You know, the issues that face Muslims in this country, they're not here in Nairobi. They're there. Because at least in Nairobi, you are dealing with people who have been exposed. You know, they know a few things here and there. But the villagers, they really need this information.
Okay.
Because sometimes you go to the village and you pray in the mosque and you see what is happening there, and you're thinking to yourself, no, this is not good enough. And that's why you've seen several institutions, mosque, like Jamia Mosque, Al-Amin, they are trying to get the imams to go to different counties. At least in a year they organize tours. Yeah. You see those lecture tours where imams, Sheikh Jamaluddin with Gaddafi, they always travel, mashallah, to different
you know, it's good, by the way,
counties.
because there are so many people who, when they hear about an imam from a certain county, not in their county, they tend to come in large numbers. Yeah.
You see, there is that urge of you know, information, and that's why you see, when you see our sheikhs from, you know, international sheikhs coming, look at the number of people that, you know, go to that venue. Whether it's a stadium, they'll fill the stadium. Whether it's a Bomas of Kenya, they'll fill the place because they want to get this information. But you see, imagine someone like Muftimen comes to Kenya.
Okay.
Take this person to Kakamega, to Migori, to Siaya, see the impact.
Okay.
Because he's been to Nairobi how many times?
Many times.
Yeah. So we have opportunities here. But I think it's high time now, those people who are organizing these trainings, try to ensure that you cover the larger part of the country. Because we have 47 counties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. I think we have less than a minute to go for a short break, or maybe we can take, I think that's a good initiative, having this workshop on a monthly basis, training or maybe empowering the imam, and also organizing these workshops, having international imams, having imams from other counties to go to different counties. At least it can give them the psych to attend and to listen to the mawaida, inshallah. So let's take a short break and we'll be back with more, because there are a lot of stories here that needs our attention. So stay tuned, don't go far.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Katika kipindi kijacho,
kullama zida fi ilmihi, kila mja yule anapoongezewa katika ilmu, zida fi kibrihi wa tihihi, kila ilmu anapoongezewa yule mja, naye kadhalika huongezeka katika kibri na huongezeka katika tihi. Tihi ni sifa ya mja kuona kwamba yeye ashafika, sifa ya mja kuona kwamba yeye ndiyo yeye, hakuna mwingine amzidia.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on HorizonTV.
HorizonTV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it at Horizon TV. We are still on the Friday Bulletin review and we move on to the next story that we have here on the Friday Bulletin. Still on the first page, we have Muslims reclaim contested Obunga land after court ruling. That is a sigh of relief, right?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And probably, definitely, there has been some issues, or maybe there has been some pain getting or reclaiming this land. Let's talk about the system that is that fights for the rights or helps in the fights for the rights of Muslims when it comes to issues concerning land. What do you think about that, the Waqf committee?
Well, Alhamdulillah, the KMA, the Kisumu Muslim Association, have managed to get back their 5-acre piece of land. And you know, this case was not an easy case because it was the Kisumu Muslim Association against the county government of Kisumu. And my only worry now is, will the governor go for the appeal?
Yes.
And we hope that the court's decision is maintained, because in this country we've seen a lot of properties that are being owned by Muslims. And you know, these properties were not given recently. These are properties that these Islamic institutions acquired very long time ago.
Yeah.
And when you look around the country, there are so many cases of this, of such magnitude, where, especially the land issue, there are so many court cases where the Islamic institutions are in courts because some individuals or, you know, county governments are now trying to grab the land. For an instance, just as we speak, there is a case in Kirinyaga. The case is in Kerugoya Lands, Environment and Lands Court, where Jamia Mosque in Kagio, they also want to grab the land. We saw recently in Kwale County the issue of Congo Mosque, a mosque that is over 700 years old. The land is prime, and now individuals led by politicians, they want to grab this land. And that's why we are trying to see this issue of Waqf bill. It has to be, you know, put in a hurry, because it will help protect such issues. Because most of these properties have been donated either by family or, you know, just individuals have given, have given their land to the mosque. But now it's being grabbed by individuals, because the value of the land has, you know, changed, and now the counties, the cities are growing, the towns are expanding. So now people are seeing opportunities for money in these areas, because like this land is for a cemetery land, but someone wants to grab it and turn it into an estate or something.
Something that will generate money for themselves.
Okay. You can see that from this story, Sheikh Musa emphasized that the land had been wrongfully occupied and misused by outside interest for years, despite its original purpose as a Muslim cemetery. So this land was given for the purpose of, its original purpose was for Muslim cemetery. Now I can see that it has changed its use.
You see, maybe, you know, as Muslims, you have to plan yourselves. So when you've been allocated a piece of land, and you're told this is for cemetery, this is for cemetery, you can't start burying in both lands. If you still have space, you say, if this one is filled, then we'll move to
the other side.
This other side. But I think now someone saw a gap and realized that there's a land sitting idle, and now that they came in and grabbed the land, tried to grab the land. But Alhamdulillah, the Kisumu Muslim Association moved with speed, and they have reclaimed the land. And in Kisumu also, you remember in 2021, the Kibos.
The Kibos one,
They demolished an entire, you know, household. Even a kid died during that demolition. Where the Kenya Railway was claiming the land that was allocated to the Nubians in Kibos. So it is not something new. In Kisumu, we had this case in 2021 that saw for the first time in history the entire management of Jamia Mosque, Nairobi, the committee, had to travel to Kisumu to meet these people. For the first time in history, it has never happened. Where you find the entire committee of Jamia, from the chairman to the treasurer, the secretary general, all those people, for the first time were traveled outside Nairobi to go and meet these people and discuss this issue of land. So that issues that they keep on coming every time and then.
Okay, and probably, you know, issues with the land and the Muslim, it has not really started recently. It's something that has occurred even in the previous years. So is there a system like the Waqf Commission? Should there be this system in order, or what is the, sorry, what is it called?
The Waqf bill?
The Waqf Commission, the Waqf board, sorry. What is their responsibility when it comes to land issues concerning Muslim community?
You know, the Waqf bill is just helping us to recognize what is owned by the Muslims, so that we avoid these issues. Because, you know, today I can give a land to the mosque and say, I've donated these 5 acres of land to the mosque. You can build a mosque, you can build anything you want that is going to help the mosque. But after me, my kids come and say, we don't, hiyo ilikuwa dili yenu, hizo hatujui, we want our land back.
Okay.
So what happens? Now you find these issues coming. But if we have this Waqf committee in place, all the lands that have been donated to the mosque are registered, title deeds issued. Everything is clear. Because some of these lands, for example, when you look at the issue in Kirinyaga, the Kagio mosque, they have the issuance letter, they have the number, but they don't have the title deed. Someone is holding on the title deed. Everything is clear, it is there. But someone is holding on the title deed for so many years, because the land was allocated in 1976.
Okay.
They have everything, the documents are there, but they don't have the title deed. So these are the things that we need the commission to come in and fast track.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does it mean that the commission has failed to deliver its duty towards the community?
No, because the commission is not even there.
Okay.
There have been now the push to establish it. The bill, the proposed bill was put, the Waqf bill was put, so the president, it was announced, they want now the people to apply for those positions, so that they can now form the board.
The committee.
Yeah, the committee. Now we'll see these things now happening. At the moment, we don't have, that's why we are having so many issues.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nice. Now I want us to move to another story. We have Pew report, PEW. Islam remains fastest growing religion globally. And according to the study, focuses on 7 major religious categories. But I want us to look at the Muslim. Is it true, or is the report true that Muslim or Islam remains the fastest growing religion globally? Let me start with you, Gaddafi.
Yes, I think this is among the things that it brings joy to any Muslim in the country or in the world, to get such information, and congrats to the report that has been removed, because according to the report it states that population is projected to increase by 70% from 1.76 billion to 3 billion, or 30% of the world population in 2050. The report states that, you know, we can testify this. It is happening, and we can see also out of what is happening with our brothers in Gaza and everything, that also triggered to the increase of more Muslim, because everyone wanted to understand the story behind Palestine. Everyone wanted to understand what's happening, why is the fight between these two people and everything. And in the process of learning, that's why you realize, oh, whatever thing I'm doing, I'm not in the right direction. I should turn and face the other direction, which I can attest to that true. The Islam remains the fastest growing religion globally, but you find that other people, they're also trying their best, trying to fight us back and also try to spread their religion. That's why we can see in some other areas, some other countries, counties, you find that these people, they take the position, they try to entice wale watu ambao wanaishi pale, to give them like a free education, to give them like free meal and everything, so that for them to feel comfortable with such with their religion rather. Yeah.
Okay, Aban, there has been a lot of criticism about people who tend to change their religion to Islam. What are these criticism, and maybe how can people cope with them?
Maybe first on Islam being the fastest growing religion globally, it's evident, it's clear, because when you look at BBC report 2023, the name Muhammad was the leading name in 2023, where in England and in Wales. where 4,600 children were recorded. You know, when you give birth, the name is recorded in the system.
Yeah.
So in England and Wales, they realized Muhammad was the top name.
Okay.
And it overtook Noah. Noah was the leading name.
Okay.
So, and when I was reading the report, they said the numbers, we've just recorded 4,600 of Muhammad, but this name is played around with. You know, there is the Muhammad, there's Muhammad, there is the Muhammad. So they did not know exactly which one do we pick. So they went for the Muhammad.
So this means there is a lot of
It's
Muhammad.
even more. It's even more. It's even more.
Okay.
And when you look at Kenya, for instance, every time they're doing the census, they always try to suppress the numbers of the Muslims. And that's why you see every time there is a census, the religious leaders come out and call out on the Muslims. Make sure you are counted. Make sure you said you are a Muslim. Because the numbers are huge. Every single day, at least every Salah, from Dhuhr here, people are converting to Islam. At least every day, we see. When you come to the rivers classes here, they are full. And another thing is, you see the Muslims, they have the liberty of marrying 4 wives.
Yes.
So the probability of one man having 10 kids, it's very easy.
Easy.
So I don't know why they keep saying our numbers are low. But to be honest, we should be, you know, we should be leading. But it was projected that by the end of, you know, of the world, Islam would be the religion. So we are heading there. And like Gaddafi said, the issue of Palestine has really gotten into people. The issue of terrorism, when they used to say Muslims are terrorists, Muslims are like this, people started really searching, studying. What is this terrorism and Islam? And every time they read, they realize they can't find it. And what happens? They convert to Islam. And this was a very big challenge by them in the US, because they realized almost all prisoners are now Muslims.
Yes. And the prison areas become a place where people can do da'wah.
Yes.
As well. So you try to teach other people, like, no, these guys are lying, and you try to tell them this is the right way. You know, the moment you start to open books, that's when you get the right things now, and be like, oh, this is how the world looks, this is how these people think, and this is how the ink is saying. Yeah.
And it has been witnessed that, or maybe you guys have really witnessed this, those people who revert or who convert to Islam, they tend to get more knowledge so that they can teach others. I've seen imams or maybe sheikhs who are reverts. Mashallah, that is really amazing.
And they're doing so well compared to those who are born Muslim. And this is a motivation to each and every person who maybe is a revert and maybe he or she feels like they cannot be somewhere. They can be somewhere, and they can do greater things compared to those who are born Muslim and everything. Because you find that there is a lot we encourage them to read, to understand more about the religion and everything. And it is very welcoming when you can see someone trying to teach you or to tell you that I've learned this and I've realized this. You, a born Muslim person, it's a point of reflection, whereby you can ask. It can be like you're trying to do like revision with them and everything, just to get back on track and everything. We've seen them, and we congratulate them, and we encourage. We want more Muslims.
Mashallah.
For example, Dr. Bilal Phillips is a revert, and when you look at, you listen to his story, which our viewers can check on YouTube, because we have a show for reverts called My Journey to Jannah. And when Dr. Bilal Phillips came to Kenya, we had a chance to sit with him one-on-one, just to listen to his story. And you know, he has Jamaican roots, and when he tells you his story, you'll be shocked. And you see now he's the founder, Islamic Open University, formerly IOU, Islamic Online University.
There is also this Aisha Prime.
Yes, Ustad Aisha Prime. These are reverts, and the number of reverts in Kenya, or even across the globe, is growing, because people are reading. How many people have we seen saying, you know, I was an atheist and I was every day I was reading to, you know, try and make sure that Islam is, you know, it's made to look the bad, very bad religion and all that. But every time I read, I've ended up being a Muslim. So there are challenges that, you know, these reverts face and all that, and the issue of trying to embrace them, and, you know, the reverts now taking over, becoming, you know, reading more than, you know, those who have been born as Muslims. You know, sometimes when you have something, you don't know the value of it.
Yeah.
You know, wewe umezaliwa, wewe ni unaitwa Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yeah, okay.
So it's automatic for
you.
you.
Like you have everything.
Yeah.
And you know everything.
Yeah, you feel like I know everything, you know, wewe River tunaniambia nini.
So
but this other person who's born, then he was raised as a Christian, as a Buddhist, or whatever. Maybe he's been in that religion for 20, 30 years. He knows this side, and now he has come to Islam, he knows the other side. So he knows both sides.
Yeah.
He is better than you because he understands.
Yes.
Both way. Yes. Wewe uko tu hapo, mimi nimepiga swala zangu 5, alhamdulillah. Yeah. But it's upon us, the Muslims, and this issue of, you know, mimi ni revert, mimi ni, no, you are a Muslim. Whether umezaliwa ama umesilimu, tuondoe hii, because the moment unaanza kudialia mimi ni revert, it's like you are a lesser Muslim. Wewe unajifanya kama wale Waislamu wa shida nini. No. Islam is not for the weak.
Okay.
You have to come in, you have to be strong. Yeah.
I believe it gives me or rings a word change in my mind. Change is inevitable. And once you choose to change your religion to Islam or convert to Islam, definitely the change, you have to cope with them, right?
Yes. They say the only people who are tested are those who have registered and are in a place that the test is happening. So the only people who will sit for exams this year are the students who have registered to sit for that exam.
Okay.
So when you say, I'm a Muslim, it's like you've registered for the exams.
Okay.
Now you have to be tested. Because God says, you just don't say I'm a believer and you expect now everything just, you know. Yeah. No. You are a believer, now we have to test you.
Yes, a manna from heaven.
Okay. Something that is a bit close to what you are saying. The biggest performance of your life, prayer. Let's talk about that one. Once a person chooses to change, then there is something that will keep this person strong, will keep this person moving forward, and that is prayer. So maybe in your daily life, what do you do when you have problem, when you are in deep depression?
I think speaking about this, according to this newspaper, the Friday Bulletin, is that the biggest performance of your life, and at the end it has been written prayer. So this means that a prayer plays a very big role in someone's life, in a place of whereby you can ask yourself, if you're someone who prays the 5 daily prayers and you know the sweetness and you get the khushu and everything, you can be wondering and ask yourself, someone who is not praying, how does he or she lives their daily life? Which it's a question that each and every person should ask themselves. But another thing that people should know is that on the day of judgment, prayer is the first thing will be questioned about. And if today's life, if your prayer is good, everything will fall into place. And if your prayer is not in place, or you're not praying, you're not doing your ibadah well, that means you don't have a good life. So kumaanisha, prayer is the way of life. You have to pray, you have to, because while praying, Allah will try to guide you in the right path. And some things which are not good, like things to deal with the akhlaq and everything, Allah will help you out, because you're trying to bring yourself closer to Allah. According to the Islamic teachings, it states that when you want Allah to speak with you, you have to read the Quran. And if you want to speak with Allah, you have to pray. So there is no shortcut. You want Allah to help you, go and pray and speak with Allah there.
Okay, we have this article down there, the subtitle, Beyond Just an Obligation. For the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prayer was not a burden. It was a source of peace. He turned to it in moments of joy and especially in moments of sadness or hardship. And we can see that Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, once said, I looked for Prophet in bed one night and could not find him. I reached out and touched his feet. He was in sujood, saying, I seek refuge in your forgiveness from your punishment, and in your pleasure from your anger, and in you from you. One time his prostration was so long. So this one shows that this is how deep his connection in prayer was. Maybe let me come to you, Aban. How often do you pray? You know, we are saying that we are praying 5 times a day.
Yes.
But there is something beyond that. There are other prayers that we are doing.
I think before Aban answer that, you know, according to the Islamic teachings, it said that the Prophet used to tell Bilal, call the adhan, so that at least we can get into the prayer and everything, so that it shows that it gives you the contentment, it gives you the peace, you feel like you feel okay with it and everything, you know. And there is a lot of prayers that people pray apart from the 5 daily prayers. There is also other sunnahs which I think Aban mentioned.
Okay, you know, there was 50.
Yes.
Before it was 50.
Yes.
I'm just trying to imagine that if we are still praying the 50.
After every minute.
How would have people been?
You know, only these 5, Aban, it is still a struggle to many Muslims. It's still a struggle, you know. So if it was 50, I don't know how mambo ingekuwa vipi hapa.
And you see, the good thing with us Muslims is that, you know, where I come from, tunapenda kutuma salamu.
Okay.
And we send these salams to radio stations. So the first thing when they wake up, the first thing they do is to turn on the radio.
Okay.
You know. But as a Muslim, the first thing you do is you wash your hands and you take your ablution and you go to the mosque. Before you listen to what is happening to the world, first you need to pray. And when you go to aviation, there is a word they use. You know, when a plane leaves and the destination maybe is Dubai or something, there is these points where the plane has to send signals indicating where it is, the altitude, the speed, and all that. They call it the handshake. Okay. It is not this handshake we say
that
here.
We know handshake.
So we are also giving our handshake. You know, we are informing. Not that Allah doesn't know. He knows that you've woken up. But now you are waking up and you know you go and tell your Lord your plan for the day. I've woken up, I do my prayer, today you know, I'm going to work.
And you be grateful.
Yes,
yeah,
you be grateful to this and this and this. Then at 1 p.m. you have to give another report. You know, my work is going like this, I need this, help me in this area. You pray. At 4 you give another report, at 6:30 you give another report, at 8 you give another report.
You know, funny thing about Islam, Nani, my colleagues here, is that Allah loves when you ask Him. He really loves when you ask Him. But we human beings, we don't like when someone asks you for favors and everything. You can ask me today, I'll help you. Tomorrow I'll come, I'll help you. The next day you'll come, I'll help you. But for the 4th time when you come back to me, I'll be like, oh, mezoea. But imagine Allah asks you, when niombe utakavo. Atakupenda na atakupatia na kila. So you have to be mnyenyekevu na nini wakati kumwomba Mwenyezi Mungu na mambo yatakuwa sawa na nini.
And I can see time is not on our side. One last thing. This phrase that I read, that is how deep his connection, that is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is connected, or this is how deep his connection in prayer was. He also said, remember Allah in times of ease, and He will remember you in times of hardship. Now, as we tend to close the show probably, maybe I get something from you, Aban. We've mentioned that there are people who are finding it difficult to maintain the 5 daily prayers. A word for them, maybe.
You know, finally, the problem with us is when you want to remember something, most of us now go to pray. So when you go to pray, is when you remember, hiyo 50 bob nilieka mahali fulani, ninafaa kupigia fulani. You see now, that's the problem with us. You forget something, just take wudu, go pray. You'll remember all those things where you put your issues. But that's not the issue. We have to try our best from preparation, because the prayer, it starts from preparation. You dress very well when you're going to meet the governor, but when you're going to pray, you go. The way you prepare yourself, it will also determine how you stand in the prayer. Because how many times have you gone to the mosque and you are just praying like, hey, is what I issue to? Because the people around you, you don't even want to be there. So we have to prepare ourselves both physically and mentally. That now I've done my work from morning to 1. Now I have like 15 minutes. Let me just go and pray. But shaitan, naye yuko tu. You see? Anacheza tu na akili zetu. That's why he'll remind you all your problems. By the way. You just say Allahu Akbar and the problems start
now they come. This is happening, this is happening. And I think in addition, before we close the show, there's a very good point, and I think everyone who will get this for the bulletin today, the fact of whereby perfecting your postures, learning the correct recitation, focus your mind and heart, talk to Allah like He's really listening, because He is, Allah says, and successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers. Just be humble. And you've asked Aban something about those who they find it difficult and everything when it comes to matters of prayers. Just remember that in the day of judgment, that is the first thing that will be asked. And if your salah, it is good and well packaged well, everything will be smooth for you. And if it will not be well kept and everything, just know from the grave. This is a reminder for myself and also to you back there who is watching, that things will be tougher.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Mashallah. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. It was really a wonderful conversation. Really wonderful having you here. And to my viewers, this Friday Bulletin has a lot of stories that really need your attention. Maybe you can grab yourself this copy today if you come to the Jamia Mosque for the Friday prayer, inshallah, so that you can get to know what is happening around you, what is happening in the country. Until next Friday, my name is Zamzam Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.